Good evening. God, it went so. Right, good evening, chat. Back on DRS for the 6th day in a row. Sadly, we're down to the countdown though. One more next day tomorrow, and we're probably gonna go back to 1 or 2 DRS runs per week for a while. You know, because for me, especially, I have my exams incoming, all the deadlines, so not really a good idea. Okay, that looks all right. I do hope some people who are still standing by idly that they know where to go, but I can start explaining. So for the DPS, the easiest job here at Slimes, for the DPS, you go inside the room and you do not go outside until I call for you to do so. In the room, inside the rooms, you only have to focus on the red slimes. There will be 2 kinds of slimes. One will spawn in the rooms and one will spawn in the hallway. The ones that spawn in the rooms are red slimes, and that is the only slime that you have to keep your eyes on and kill ASAP if whenever they spawn. That's the only thing. It deals a little bit of damage, but it's nothing that your natural regen can't do, or healers are also in the rooms. They can also top you off if needed. The important thing about the red slime is that you preferably keep it away from your tank. Your tank will be moving back and forth from the center of the room to the hallway and then back again. So you will need to grab the red slime and move to a corner of the room. The red slime will tether to the first person that damages them. So that is really, it's easy as well because you don't really need to have aggro of it afterwards. They will tether to you and you just stand inside a corner. There you handle off the red slime and you'll be good. Then moving on to the tanks. The room tanks will be Yuki, Faith, Drain, and me. We're gonna go grab or gather the green slimes from the hallway. We'll be going 1 by 1 and for 2 rounds. First round, we'll grab 3 slimes. Second round, we grab 2 slimes. After we have gotten 5 slimes in total, we just go back inside a room and place the big slime because they would have fused already. So we'll put the big slime on top of the platform in the middle of our room. And there we just wait. For the third round, we need our healers in the room to grab 1 slime each and then pull it into a corner of the room. You do not pull it to your tank. You pull it inside the room and you go inside a corner and wait there. Then I'll be calling for tanks to provoke, and then you can provoke the slime off of a healer, and then make sure that the small slime with your big slime are fusing on the portal on your room, in your room. After that, all of these slimes will be casting their enrage, and then we will all go out towards the north, because in the north there's also a door like this here in front of us. We will go outside the north door and all the way to the right to the end of the corridor. That's it for the room people. Then we also have the hallway people. They will be taking care of the Belgian soldiers. Beyond this door and a little bit to the north, there will be 2 portals as well, and there the Belgian soldiers will spawn. The Belgian soldiers have a point blank knockback, and that is why we prefer to keep them outside, or at least not in any rooms and not close to any slimes. Because if they somehow catch slimes in their AoE and knock them back, the slimes will interrupt their casting, which could be a bad idea. That's why we keep them in the hallway and not interfering with our using slimes. That's it for slimes. Are there any questions? We can also already start a ready check. If there are questions, please feel free to ask, and you can always press no then as well on the ready check. Carrots are ready. Okay, that makes all of slimes ready. I feel like I wrapped up slimes explanations really fast today. I think I usually spend more time on it. True, true. What do you mean even you get it? I may hope you get it. Who's removing the markers? I need those markers. Also, the our perception tank. Have you checked the rooms? If not, it is fine because I just did. Yes. Okay. So there will be 3 traps in total. One is always in the hallway, so careful to not run too fast. There's also one in the southwest room 4. So rooms, people in room 4 as well, be careful. And especially in the north, because both rooms can have it. So tank 1, you can grab your slimes. People, DPS is in the rooms, at least in the south rooms, you can go in and attack the red slimes. Tank 2 can grab your slimes. And all traps are found. Nice. Careful to not step into them. And tank 3, grab your slimes. My turn. And then tank 1, you can get ready. And grab 2 slimes. And tank 2, you can grab 2 slimes as well. And tank 3, you can also grab 2 slimes. They're at your wall there. Right, every tank should have 5 slimes in total now. Make sure they're on the big platform. Healers can also grab 1 slime each, bring them into a corner of your room. The healers should have 1, okay. And tanks, you can provoke the slime off of a healer now. Provoke, drag them through, make sure they are fusing, deal some damage if needed. Right, fusing, everyone out of the north door. If there are any red slimes coming with us, don't forget to interrupt them or kill them on the spot. It's fine. Slime 2 might be a little bit off center. We pray. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Nice. We gooped. Okay, that's somehow that somehow fit. Alright. Don't think we have any casualties. Can hop on the platform if you have not done so yet. And don't forget your personal loot. Excuses for not calling Rupture, because there was one slime that was a bit off-center. I want to get your hopes up. Alright. Removing those markers. Okay. Alright. And now that we know, explanations for Seeker. Right. Seeker has the exact same mechanics as in normal, just in here you will have some combinations, and the pace is way faster. And because the pace is really fast here, you will have to react fast, be light on your feet, and move as soon as you can. I mean, as soon as needed. Don't space out, move when I tell you to, and you should be fine. The one big thing about Seeker, oh, actually two big things about Seeker, is the sword cleaves. Like I said, they will be fast, so I forgot what I wanted to say. Because they're fast, you need to react, you have to be fast there as well. I will be calling these swords the safe side of the swords, and also boss relative. So you're looking at the boss, and the boss is facing north, preferably, or facing anywhere, but we should be behind the boss. If I call left, left, right, right, we should start on the left of the boss, 2 cleaves, and then we move to the right. Another big thing about this boss, about this fight, is the look away mechanic with the ice grid and expanding flower AoE. The most important thing is that you make sure that you're not standing on the ice grid, obviously, but also look away from the eye. The eye is the first mechanic that goes off. So make sure that you're looking away from the eye, and once that goes off, you can then move away from the flower that's gonna expand. You have enough time for that, so don't panic and just look away from the eye first. A lot of people do panic there, and they either then just look at the look at the eye and then can't move anymore, and they die, which is a very stupid way to die. Let's be honest. So just stay calm and you'll be fine. I'll be calling them as well where they are. They can only spawn on the intercardinals, on the markers 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll be calling where to look away from and then where to go away from. So keep that in mind. Then let's see. There have been some people already rolling for main tank. How we do this here is you can roll /random, and the highest bidder can be main tank for the entire instance. So let's see, who do we have? Sadly, healers cannot participate. I think it would be Bazexa with Yuki as off tank. Yes. Where? Okay, there. So Bazexa ignore number 1 and Yuki ignore number 2. There we go. Every other tank, please check your tank stances. Everyone has tanked something just now. You will have it off. Parties can start a raid check, and once we're all good, we can go. If you have buff food as well, you can use it. It does help. We have A, B, E, D. Waiting on F now, and F is ready. Alright. Then 20 seconds. And we're going. Pull, pull, pull. We'll be starting off with a raid wide. Jamie has the boss. Okay, not anymore. Nice. And we'll be going into swords. Gonna be a shitty pattern. Who would have thought? It's back, back, and back, front, front, back. Sorry. Start on the back, front, front twice, front, front twice, and then to the back. Look away from 3. Look away from 3 and get away from 2. Right, be in front or behind the boss, don't be on the sides. Inside the hitbox also works, not be on the sides. After that, get away from the main tank. All tanks to the main tank though. If you're a tank, to the main tank. And tanks away. Stay stacked. Stay stacked for now. We will have chains on top of our heads. And you can break them now and go in front of any wall. In front of any wall. Starting off on 4. I'm gonna start on 4. And then go in front of the wall. So in front of wall number 1. Front of wall number 1. Okay, back on the boss. We'll have a raid wide. We're gonna stay stacked on Delta. Everyone on Delta. Dodge the floor AoEs. And then we go on sand. Everyone on sand. Next up we will have 2 more floor mechanics with Earthshakers. And everyone on tiles. Blue tiles. Earthshakers will be out soon. Take them away from the group. Right, and next up on sand, Earthshakers away. Okay, check your the intercardinals of the boss. Be on the intercardinal. Don't be too far out. Other side of different dashes. Start on 4 again. Everyone to 4, and we'll handle the swords after. It is going to be front, front, back, back. Front, front of the boss. And then back. Okay, look away from 3. Look away from 3 and get away from 2. Get away from 2. Don't move out. And now we can break it. Have a read white coming in soon as well. Stir. Right. Now we will have the most on mechanic. It's a shitty pattern. Please watch out. Gonna be left, right, right, left. Left on sand. On sand. Then right, right. And then left on tiles. On tiles. Last but not least, we will go on tiles again. Okay, look away from 1. Look away from 1 and get away from 2. Read what incoming. And we should have a front or behind mechanic. Front or behind, don't be on the sides. Don't be on the sides. Right, clone will jump and we're gonna follow him to Charlie. I'm gonna get knocked back into the wall, and it's gonna be a shitty pattern afterwards. It will be right, left, left, right of the clone. Clone is facing south, so right, left, left, right of the clone. Left. And right. Okay, stay stacked. Do not move out too soon. Do not move out too soon. Now we can heal RB from the center. Oh, we got 2 healers down. It's a bit late for a sec. Okay, we have some people down here. Healers, please stay behind and get them up. Everyone else who is not a healer can move ahead after you grabbed your loot. Okay, then in party A, whoever, I don't really know whoever has a cure 4 in our party. Christy, alright, Christy can stay here, and Comtus, once you are up, you can come over to where I am. Mark myself. Okay, once I say okay, you can pop your dervish and your cure 4, and then you move to the right to where everyone is going right now. Okay? And looks like it should be fine. You can pop it. Thank you. Everyone else can move over to Dahu. And I will mute myself. Okay. Check, I have my home gang up. So start. with me. I'm forgetting to use my dash. Okay. But actually, I swear, no matter how many times I've done 1v1, it is so fucking stressful, I swear to God. Ugh. Actually, not good for my heart. Mute.
Again, so dodge it and then move into it, go in, and then he's dead. Ignore those. Good job. And he dead? Doesn't look like it. And congratulations, Celesta.
Was there any doubt?
Yes.
Damn, alright. Understandable though. The same.
At least he's self-aware.
My #1 fan, thank you.
Rest in peace, Langu. Come to think of it, never seen Langu and Eric in the same room.
Lanko often doesn't join evening runs because of static.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, let me think. We're gonna, well, the physical excellence target can already slot it in, and mark yourself as well so people know, and explain when people are mimicking or whatever. Can I post the CMD? Wait, we have only one healer in the... To post the full roster or full CMD. That just means, Siri, you'll take 2 orbs, which you probably can do. Also, yeah, maybe... Do you have both Steel Sting and Spellforge, Siri? Or do you need other people to slot? Or...
I have both.
Okay, nice. Alright, so we can start explaining. First of all, the Queen's Guard, as opposed to in normal mode, we are going to deal with them 2 by 2. In the first phase, we will have Knight and Warrior. In the second phase, we will have Soldier and Gunner. The most important thing in, or a few most important things in phase 1 is that we would need Steel Sting and Spellforge, and that is only for phase 1. So after phase 1 is done, you can slot it out for something else. So that is one thing. You have to have Steel Sting or Spellforge. Second thing is, as you might remember in normal as well, you might have a chain on the bombs, on the bomb mechanic. But here we can also have the chains on our characters. So as you can see, all those buffs and debuffs with the chain, it's called reversal of forces, is in the second images from the CMD. Once you see the chain on yourself, that is the most important thing. You have to look at the chain for yourself, and then I will be calling out chained people or tethered people to this, or non-tethered people to that. So overall, it's the bomb mechanic and the wind and lightning mechanic are quite easy to resolve as long as you look at what you have, aka a chain or not. So that's the thing for phase 1, not too hard, just listen to the callouts and you will be fine. Maybe one more reminder though, for the bombs, if you are the first, or your character is the first, looking for the right word, the first group, let's say, to drop down with the first set of bombs, you will then have to move to where the first bombs exploded on the floor. There you will be safe for the second set of bombs that are gonna drop and explode there. A lot of people forget that, that's why I wanted to remind here. Then for phase 2, like I said, we're gonna deal with Soldier and Gunner. And the Gunner has one very familiar, very notorious mechanic, and that is the Sniper mechanic, as you might all know from the 3rd Alliance raid in Stormblood, or Orban Monastery from the first boss. You will get a shield-like thing on your character with one open side. You will have to face that open side towards Gunner to actually take the hit. There will be turrets on the side as well, east and west, but first and foremost, you face the open side towards Gunner in the center, and then you face it towards either east or west, depending on the turrets on east or west shooting inside the arena or not. If you like look at Delta, for example, and right in front of you, you don't see a turret that's gonna shoot inside the arena, then you know it's shooting from the other side. So placing it accordingly. That is for phase 2, nothing too bad. Maybe, right, in phase 2 there is the point blank AoEs that we have to avoid as well from the fire frogs, because we probably won't see the second jumpy clones. But it acts the same, those fire frogs, they act the same as the jumpy clones as you know from normal. They will have a point blank and we have to avoid them. The same as in normal as well, you have a melee spot that you can go to. If you want to look in game, there is the melee spot will be around here. So like from that center, a little bit further away, here would be the melee spot. They can dodge both point blanks. So that's for phase 2. For phase 3, I want you all to take a look, or especially the healers, to take a look in DRS chat at the last image. There will be your reflect orbs. All the yellow circles are the reflection orbs, and you need to take them with reflect, obviously, or a light curtain, which acts as reflect. The way you deal with it is basically you stand next to it and pop your reflects. It's not necessary here, but in case you will join for later runs and we have an undersized party, you might need to take 2 orbs. And how do you take 2 orbs? Is basically you only start popping, or you only pop basically your light curtain when you see a AoE indicator on your orb. So you just stand close to it, and once you see the AoE indicator, you pop your light curtain, and you have time to take 2 reflection orbs. Works as well, of course, for even if you only need to take 1 orb. Works like a charm to have a an indicator as to when to pop your light curtain. During phase 3 as well, the tanks who are not tanking the ads right in front of us, they will be all turning on their tank stands and taking care of the aura spheres on A and C. There will be 2 aura spheres, and everyone else as well, once they spawn, they will be spawning twice, as the same with the reflection orbs. Everyone has to prioritize those aura spheres. Once they are dead, then you can move over to the ads in every intercardinal. But especially important for tanks to have your tank stands on, because they will give you a time buster, or give the person with the highest aggro time buster after they died. The time buster is a marker on top of your head. It's not the cast that you see. Once you see a marker on top of your head, then you can press your invuln. If you press it too early, if you think the cast is the time buster and you press it too early, you will 100% die. Because of course, the time buster comes out later. That's for phase 3. Like I said, the orbs will happen twice. So at least make sure that once you have taken the first one, you turn off your tank stance so you can't take the second hit anymore. Then maybe one thing I forgot at phase 1, the warrior will periodically cast boosts, at most twice. We would need our dispeller, or tank dispeller, to get rid of that. Looking, it is Shrain Crystal from Group C, who should have Dispel on right now. Can you confirm if you have it slotted? Yes, nice. Okay. So you will notice the warrior casting boost twice in this fight, or in phase 1, sorry. And once that happens, you just have to cast Dispel on it, and it is Bitchy. I don't think I missed anything else that is really important. So healers, you can already slot in Steel Sting and Spellforge. And once I start the ready check, you can then start buffing the people. Do pay attention to our hybrid classes, because they need both. Alright? And as for me, please do not give me any unnecessary buffs, as in any healing stuff or individual shields, because I do not want to ghost any of the actions that I will use. Please do not troll. I think that is it, really. So party leaders can start a ready check. See if we're done. And Minerva, are you target? Yes, you are. And you have the shitty placement. I fucking hate you.
If you hate me, why you put me on 6 runs this week? If you hate me, why'd you put me on 6 runs this week?
Because you need the people. Shut up. That is DBE ready, AF, and cuties are ready as well. Alright. Everyone can also come closer to the bosses, to the ads, but please do not target them yet. We have had shenanigans like that before. Alright. I'm gonna start the countdown, 20 seconds. And please do check your tank stance again. Okay, that was everyone out, please. I need to say some stuff. This is why you shouldn't target the bosses. But the one thing I wanted to say is basically tanks, if you notice that I'm grabbing aggro, please use some provoke. You need to. Do have my tank sense off, but might still be. Okay, can come closer again. And countdown is going in. 20 seconds. Don't know who has Spellforge in my part, but can I have a Spellforge as well? Cute. And pull. We didn't really assign whoever's taking those soldiers, those ads, but I'm just assuming for that. Okay, you can take warrior and gunner, and I think Bazexa will then take knight and soldier. I forgot I can't use excellence. That's actually sad. Okay, get rid of Spellforge, you need Steel Sting. Get rid of purple, you need yellow. Gonna be a sword omen, so we're gonna take the first bombs on the edge. Look at your character. If you are tethered, you take a small bomb. If you're not tethered, you take a big bomb all the way on the edge. Tethered too small, untethered too big. Tethered too small, untethered too big. And once you drop down, you can move to where a bomb just exploded. That's a boost on the warrior. Need a dispel. And a raid wide. And next up, we will have a wind and lightning mechanic. Check your character. If you are tethered, you go to wind. If you're not tethered, you go to lightning. Tethered to wind, untethered to lightning. And then afterwards, we'll go back to the knight. Go back to the knight, and it's a point blank, so we go out towards Charlie. Out towards Charlie. Very nice. Back on the boss, and a dispel on the warrior. Raid wide incoming. And there's a Time Buster. Right, kill both of the bosses. It's the same debuff as or buff as before. Moving on, soldier to Delta and gunner in the center. First mechanic are those point blanks. We're gonna follow the second set of frogs that move. We're all going to Alpha. Everyone to Alpha. Look at your open side. Gunner's a little bit skewed. Open side to the gunner. And then towards a turret on the side. Whoops. Time Buster incoming. And raid wide. We'll have turrets soon. Once the turret spawns, everyone should focus on them. And turrets are here. Kill them ASAP. If the sniper shot goes out, use your invuln, of course. Great wide. Keep moving, keep moving. At the end of the cast, keep moving. Don't get frozen. Keep moving. And we're good. And stand still. We might see the spawning of the clones, but we're not going to deal with them if we kill both bosses right now. Yep, and they're dead. Okay, tanks to either Alpha or Charlie, healers to your positions. And Aura Spheres first. Oh boy. Okay, careful with the parries. Second set of Aura Spheres and Collection Orbs. If you have heal LB, you can use them from the center after the orbs. Do it now. And kill the ads. Right, I think one more person down. Have to get them up and enjoy your 2 chests because of our successful duel. If you're not a healer, you can move over to Phantom already. If you need ABO, you can go quick, yes. That's okay, don't worry about it. Happens. We're waiting for one person in our party. Everyone else can start a ready check though. Phantom is not too hard. Just the thing is with normal that we have to deal with 4 columns instead of 2 in Savage. Everything else is the same, just follow the donut once we get there and don't run into the walls. We hopefully should not be getting to the ad phase, but if we do, healers need to heal up the white ghost and everyone else has to kill the red ghosts. And that is it. We have E, D, F, C, and A, so we're waiting on. E? Yes, E. I cannot even... I don't know my alphabet, I'm sorry. E is ready, so we can go. Check your tank senses. If you had it on for the aura sphere, please turn it off. First up, raid wide. I just realized we don't have markers. It's gonna be either northeast or northwest. We're going to go northwest. And basically we just follow the donut until right before the wall at the south fault. And we can move over to that spot. And then move back to the corner. You will see 3 cleaves. And after those 3 cleaves, we can move into the spot where those cleaves happened. It's 1, 2, and 3. We can move. Same for this side. 1, 2, and 3. Move back. Seems like we're gonna see ad phase. Remember, healers will have to heal up the white ghosts. Everyone else kill the red ghosts. There'll be 3 sets. This is the second now. And third set. After this, we will need a interrupt on the boss. Oh, 1 more ghost. Right. I pressed the stun. Right, now we kill the boss before we see anything finicky. There will be traps ahead. Don't move too soon. Right. If you want ice spikes, we can do that next time. Again, careful for the traps ahead. People are actually gonna die. Or maybe not, but they won't expect it.
Wait, it won't be there tomorrow. Fuck. Next week.
More traps here. And please do not auto walk because we need the pink traps afterwards. I would deny you from banishing, because now you can eat a shield. Alright. First up, CMD. Then quick explanations for TA. Okay, so first things first about TA. Not every, I would say every, I don't know why. At least 1 tank in every party needs ether shields. because every raid wight has a bleed, and the bleed will really hurt if you do not have a lot of fortitude stacks. So ether shields are really good. Then I'm gonna go into the mechanics. In Trinity Avowed, she has 3 major mechanics. 3 major mechanics being her 3 weapons: sword, bow, and staff. She will be doing those mechanics twice. So let's say if the order is sword, bow, staff, she'll do that once, and then the second time she will repeat that. But for the second set of those mechanics, you will have an extra thing to look out for. If you remember, in normal, you had to deal with a temperature. The temperature is shown on your screen, and you need to get hit by the correct things to negate your temperature or neutralize your temperature. And here it is the same for the first set of the 3 mechanics. For the second set of those 3 mechanics, you will have an extra elemental brand. The elemental brand is the last 4 images that you see on the CMD. Respectively, from left to right, they are -2, -1, +1, +2. That is especially dangerous because a lot of people panic there and don't know what to do. The brand is basically an extra temperature that you need to resolve, but it only resolves at the very end of the mechanic, and that's why many people don't see that they have a neutral temperature and then start panicking, taking stuff that they don't need to. That's why keep in mind, it might be possible that after you resolve your temperature, you might not have a neutral temperature yet, but that will resolve with the brand at the end. The one thing about the brand is you need to do the math for them. For both bow and staff mechanics, you only have 1 chance to get hit by the correct thing to resolve your debuff, to resolve your elements. And that's why before you take before you resolve the mechanic of the bow and staff, you have to do the math first with your elemental brand and figure out what you really need to get hit by. Only during the sword mechanic you can get hit, or you have the chance to get hit twice. Also, during the sword mechanic, during the second phase, it might be even possible that you need to get hit twice. So for example, if you have -2 and your brand is also -2, for the sword mechanic, you will need to get hit twice by +2. That's one example, but that can only happen in the sword mechanic. Everything else, bow and staff, you only have 1 chance to get hit by the correct one. So then, going off every mechanic or every of the weapons, starting off with sword. The sword mechanic, as you can see on the arena right now, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 markers. When the sword mechanic happens, there's only 1 absolute safe spot, either on 1, 2, 3, or 4. And if I say absolute safe spot, that means on that safe spot, you don't get hit by any of the swords. And that is also the safe spot that I will call. For example, if I say 4, you will have to resolve your debuff or resolve your element on either delta, 1, 3, or 1 square south of 4. Those are the only acceptable files for you to resolve your temperature. If I say 4 is an absolute safe spot and you go to 2, you are dead. Because there you will get hit by 2 swords. Every intercardinal from the safe spot that I call, you get hit by two sword cleaves. That's why, just remember, absolutely cannot go to the intercardinal of the safe spot that I call. As you can see as well in the first image in the CMD, only cardinal from the safe spot is safe. Oh, they mentioned that in the second phase, second sword phase, you might need to get hit twice, and you also have twice the chance in the first phase as well to resolve your element if you're not too sure about how it works at start. Then moving on to bow, it is the third image in the CMD. We will have to deal with the ladder game, as you also know as from normal, but here you have 5 columns instead of, I think, 3 maybe in normal. Don't quite remember. But the ladder game only has 2 patterns. I think Siri can call out which pattern it is if it is easier that way for you to resolve it. But if not, you can also just trace it with your mouse, trace it with your eyes, whatever it is. If the arrow can take a turn, it will take a turn. And as I found, that is the easiest way for me anyway. So there is there's 2 ways to resolve this. Like I said before as well, on the bow mechanic, you only have 1 chance to get hit by the correct temperature. So keep that in mind. Then moving on to the staff mechanic. Staff mechanic is exactly the same as in normal. The 4 corners will have meteors on them, or the meteors will drop in the 4 corners. So we will go from the center to any of those meteors that we need to neutralize our temperature. Again, there for the second phase, you only have 1 chance to get hit by the correct one. That's why do the math first and then go to the correct meteor. In this entire fight, you also have 3 instances where you have a forced march. First instance that I can think of is the first bow mechanic, the first bow mechanic, where we will have to evade the fire tornado. We will let our force march take us from the center to either Delta or Bravo. That's the first force march. Second force march can happen during the second bow phase. Second bow phase during the ladder game. So there you will have to deal with your temperature, with your brand, and a force march. So if you need to lose a GCD or 2, please do so, focus on a mechanic. Do it right, and let your force march take you to the correct tile to get your temperature, or get your arrow. Then the third instance would be in the first phase of the staff mechanic, and you will let your force march take you from the center to any of the meteors that you need. Only those 3 instances we will have to deal with force march. Everything else is just manual. Another thing I want to mention, aside from the raid wide needing either shields because it has a bleed on, every single tank buster is also a shared tank buster. So if you see that there's like 2 the 2 red circling orbs on top of the main tank's head, you know it's a tank buster and you need to stand next to him. At least if you're a tank. If you're not a tank, please don't. Anything else I need to mention, really? I don't think so. Unless my PLs remember something that I don't. Nope. So we can start a ready check. If you have a question, you can always press no. Cheeky little... No, I'm not gonna repeat that again. A, B, F, E, D. So waiting on Charlie. Yep, alright, Charlie is ready. If you have run out of your food buff, you can put it again here. And since everyone is ready, we can start. So 20 seconds on the countdown. Oh, that's an early pull. Going for it. Gonna start off with a time buster. One. Time buster into a raid wide. And I am dead. I shouldn't have taken that. Either shields up. And we're gonna go in front of the boss. Everyone in front of the boss. and then go behind the boss. Boss will recenter. Or not.
Oh, like it's last.
And stuff, get away from the boss. Get away, get away. First off, we will be starting with the staff mechanic. Check your temperature and check your force march. Everyone can stack on 3. There will be proximity markers on the corners. Inspect the proximity and you will let your force march take you to the correct meteor. On the boss. And either shields up. Next up, get in front of the boss. Everyone on 1. Everyone on 1. Alright, boss will become unchargeable very soon. I will have to deal with the swords. So check your temperature. Figure out what sword you need to get hit by. And listen to the call out. Save spot will be on 4. On or next to 4. 2 is absolutely not safe. Next save spot is on 2. On or next to 2. Back on the boss. And either shields up. Right, we go behind the boss. Check your force march. We're gonna let it take us to either Delta or Bravo. Tanks in front. Not gonna make the same mistake. Right, we're going to Bravo. Let your force march take you to Bravo. If there are people who re-race in the flames, you can rescue them to the safe spots. Check your temperature. And do the ladder game. No patron call?
Pattern 1.
1. Alright, ether shields can go up. And get away from the boss. Get away now. Boss is not gonna move anymore, so range you can already stack on 3. Check your temperature, and remember we are dealing with brands now as well. So look at your temperature, look at your brand, figure out what you really need to get hit by. And from 3, you're gonna move manually towards the correct meteor. Move manually. Dodging the ads, it is on the outer corners. Outer corners. Outer corners. I'm blind? Okay. Back on the boss, and you will have either shields. Boss is facing inwards, so everyone in front of her, towards the center. She'll recenter again. And gonna disappear soon, so keep an eye out on your element. And again, you will get a brand. Remember here, you might need to get hit twice as well. So, safe spot is on 2. On or next to 2. 4 is not safe. 2 or next to 2. Next safe spot on.
4.
On 4. Yes, sorry. Didn't see that fast enough. 4 or next to 4. Back on the boss. Heal up. Either shields up as well. Wait and check until you have LB3 and you can use it from the center. If you have both healers down in the party, please mark them with the chain so people can sack them up. Everyone and behind the boss. Alright.
Rescue, go heal if they're in LB lag.
Okay. First up, we're gonna have to dodge the clones on the sides. It will be left or right from the boss, left or right from the boss. I'm gonna go to Delta afterwards. You can sprint afterwards. Sprint now. Check your temperature and check your brand. You only have one chance here, so do the math. If you already have a neutral temperature from the brand as well, you follow the empty spot. Let your force march take you to the correct tile.
Turn 2.
Turn 2. I'm gonna fucking die. Alright. Either shields up and time buster at the wall. Because I think you will still see that. Yep, time buster at the wall. And you can kill the boss. Okay, there's so many people down. Please try to get us up. I did a lot of things wrong. I don't even know what happened there.
I think this is the run in the week where everyone's starting to fall asleep.
Do try to get at least the healers up first if there are healers down. They can also arise. I marked Chain as a healer. They're down south. Try to get them up first. Slowly but surely. Good, last person. And for the people who want to, you can go back to grab the mini trap. It is the pink one. Don't forget to take your loot as well, and we wait in front of the gate. On the portal and wait in front of the gate. I think that's everyone for the mini trap, so you can pop it and come open the gate for us. Already one. Okay, there will be traps down the stairs, so please be careful. Do not walk into the room yet. Wait on the bottom of the stairs.
Isuna.
Oh, Asuna.
One more in front of the boss.
One more on the bridge. Please do not walk in front if you don't have perception. If that was a explosion trap, Outbreak would have literally done the same thing as I did.
The third clip.
Just that room where it can be right in front of the door.
Yep. Okay.
Too bad we don't have Milana yelling donkey.
Alright, everyone's here, so Mino. Always takes a while for Rodney to also post the debuffs. Alright. For Minotaur here. For the Stigmaloch Lord. This fight is not too hard. The only hard thing about this fight is the ad phase. The boss will go into his ad phase when he gets below 70% health, and then he himself will become untargetable, and then he will spawn 4 ads on the 4 cardinals. These ads will be kited around by 4 of our tanks. Why kited around? Because once the ads get closer to you so that they can auto attack and bulk you, you will get a rune stack. And that rune stack, once you get 2 of them, you will get a doom and die. And that's why we have tanks kiting them around, so that they can keep aggro with their ranged attack. So that's it for, that's not it, but most important thing to keep those minnows, the ads walking during the ad phase. During the ad phase, everyone will be starting at 3, except for, of course, the tanks who are kiting. They will be going to their respective cardinals, but everyone else, especially DPS, will start on 3. We are going to kill counterclockwise. So we're gonna start killing by the ad at 3, and then we move on to the next one counterclockwise. Because the tanks are kiting clockwise, the next one will basically come to us. Then there are, so that's it for DPS. Yes, that's the only job that DPS really have. The healers, you will be standing in the inner circle. As you see on the arena right now, there's like 2 white circles on the floor. Everything else that is gray dark, they will become dead zones. So that's why we will be standing on the white circles, everyone else on the outer one, and the healers in the inner one. The healers in the inner circle will have to deal with the earth orbs and the fire orbs. Earth orbs have a very little amount of HP, so you can just put a dot on them, but they need to be dispelled first. So once you have dispelled it, 1 more tick from your dot and it will die. The fire orbs, though, you have to deal with them like the reflection orbs. But contrary to the reflection orbs, you cannot go by the AoE indicator on the fire orb, because it happens really fast. So you have to look at the cast bar. You can target the fire orb if you're not too sure, if you don't really want to look at your enmity list. So you can target the fire orb to see when the cast happens. At around the at around the middle of the cast, you can pop your light curtain and you'll be safe. That's it for the healers, although maybe you also want to take care of your tanks who are sweeping. If they get low, that you get them up in time. And what do I mean with sweeping? Well, at the start of the ad phase, there will be traps spawning on the outer circle. The inner circle is safe. The traps will only be on the outer circle. During that part, the only safe spots are the cardinals. So you can see it on the floor, like it's really obvious. Once you see those ads spawn, the traps spawning, make sure that you're on a cardinal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Any will do, but just make sure that you're on a cardinal. After the trap spawn, the kiting tanks will be sweeping all the way to the next cardinal. Sweeping all the traps in between, so that it's safe for us to run through. I'm saying usually the kiting tanks are going to sweep, but if there's one tank afterwards when we assign them, if there's one tank who is not comfortable with sweeping themselves, we can assign another person to sweep for them. Got healers, tanks, and DPS, so I don't think there's any more left to say on what you need to do there. There are, however, during the ad phase, debuffs that we have to resolve. As you can see, the second row of images from our CMD, the push and pull. Obviously, it does what it says. Once the boss finishes casting, these debuffs will go off. Where do we resolve it? If you can look in the first image, there will be notches available for you to stand on to get rid of those debuffs. If you want to look inside the game in game right now, right in front of marker 3, there is a notch here, and that will be the outer notch. Of course, the debuffs come from the boss, so we'll have to look at the boss to resolve it. If you need to get pulled, you stand on the outer notch here. If you need to get pushed, you stand on the inner notch here. These notches are always directly in front of each other. So if you get pushed back here, you go all the way, you get pushed back to the outer notch. These notches will be in every cardinal and intercardinal, just to give you an idea where you can find them. Aside from that mechanic, or that thing that we have to resolve during the ad phase, there's also the lightning line that will go through the outer circle and inner circle. And for those, you also just have to dodge inside a notch. Afterwards, you also might have a puddle underneath your feet, and you just have to walk out of them. Very easily solvable. The only thing that you really have to look out for are your debuffs. The first set of debuffs that go out, we have to resolve them immediately. So once you see your character having this debuff, you have to look for a notch and resolve it. The second time we see those debuffs, it will not resolve immediately, and I will be calling when to resolve it. I think it's after maybe like 4 or 5 GCDs. It's a while. Then I think that is it. Everything else from the boss itself is not too hard. After we finish the ad phase, we have to, of course, kill the boss as well. The AoEs of the mechanics from the boss is really easy, nothing really notorious. And as long as you listen to the calls for that, you will be fine. Yep. Okay. Are there any volunteers to kite the ads? Oh, I should put one on myself. Injury taking 4. I kite the one on 3, so dice fast. Yes, you can. Okay. Mark you with 3 though. Anyone else who wants to? As I can, they can take 1. And I will
We can
take...
two.
Or you can take 2. Okay, is everyone fine with sweeping for themselves? Or do you need someone to sweep for you? I think most of the people here, I know they can. I'll just use info for it. Yes, you do. So, from your starting cardinal, every tank, make sure that you're on the next cardinal before the trap spawn. And then you sweep all the way to the next one yet. So if you start on 3, for example, you go to 4 before the trap spawn, and then you sweep from 4 to 1. That's how you handle it. Okay, I think every one of those tanks can sweep for themselves. If there are warriors, I think Jamie is a warrior that I know for sure. Indri and Zexa and Yuki are all paladins, so that's fine. But for Jamie, at least, I need to heal him up afterwards. Do you sprint for this? Yes, preferably you do sprint for it. For the sweeping, yes. Because I don't think you have enough time to just...
You do.
You do?
You do
Okay.
if you hold W, you don't stutter.
Preferably still do sprint though, because there might be some people who are impatient and just follow right behind you. And to get it done over quicker, you can sprint. But do please wait until the traps are actually there, so you see the pattern of the traps spawning, and once that pattern is gone, then you can start sweeping. Don't sprint too fast. Like, too early, more like. Okay, I think that is it then. Can start a ready check. If we have questions, you can always press no. F, B, C, A, D, and E, so that's everyone. Okay, check your tank stances. You only need it for the add phase, every other tank. 20 seconds on the countdown. And remember, we're gonna use our burst and our actions on the add phase. At the start, you can just build some resources instead. Pull, pull, pull. So will be a time buster into a point blank knockback. So if you're a ranger caster, you can go far away from the boss, not too far. Or you can use anti knockback now. And then dodge the 3 cleaves. And okay, everyone to your positions, everyone to 3, every time to your cardinals. And wait until our tank has enough aggro. And we start using our burst. Kill the ads as soon as possible. And make sure you're on the next cardinal. And start sweeping. Right? Look for notch, resolve your debuff. Next add. Dodge in a notch. Dodge in a notch. And watch your feet. And onto our leg last. Debuffs will be spawning soon, but we're not going to deal with that. Right, we can dodge in a notch, wait for everything to resolve, and we can go back to the boss. There's one more. Okay, mind. There will be lightning puddles after this. So raid wide. These lightning puddles, you have to take them to the edge and then step out of them because they will keep pulsing. So lightning puddles, take these to the edge and move out. And get away max casting range. Wait, max casting range. Who has impetus in party A? Gives me a fucking scare. After this one, we will have a proximity marker. Get away from the proximity. And get back on the boss. There will be these 3 cleaves again. Get away from our main tank. I'm gonna follow with a time buster. And then another point blank. Right, boss is dead. Do we still have anyone down, or do we have any to begin with? Nope. And grab the chest and then move over to Queen. You cannot fall off here. I tried. I don't think you can even stand like on top of the pillars. Right, enjoy cutscenes. And then first things first, when everyone's here, if you do not have a re-raiser active and you don't have any left in your holster, you can stand on marker C. Then on top of marker C, if you do not have one, on top of marker C. Only you left. There were a few people who already gotten it. Is there anyone else who needs a re-raiser? Anyone else? And start on marker C. Does anyone still have a lost re-raise? If not, I'm gonna pop mine. Okay. Lidu, you don't have a re-raiser. Do you have one in your holster?
I have some left. Who needs it?
Lidu's not answering if they have one on their holster or not. You have one? Okay, please pop it now. So I think then we have everyone covered here. Okay, starting off with some explanations. For Queen, there is you already basically know half of the fight, because the four big mechanics called Relentless Play are all recycled from Queen's Guard. Recycled, or more like she uses the Queen's Guard to do the mechanics for her. So you have already seen those mechanics during Queen's Guard, and you're familiar with it. You know how to deal with it, so I'm not going to go into that too much more. There are a few mechanics that is owned to Queen. For example, her raid wides, time busters, the chesses, super chess and normal chess, and also one more thing that I'm forgetting. Maybe not. I'll probably come to it again if I'm explaining. So for the... First of all, let's talk about the raid whites. The raid whites still have a bleed on them. So for every raid white, we would need an Ether Shields. After that, there is also a enhanced raid white from her. The enhanced raid white does not hit any harder, but it will have some different mechanics afterwards. So if she does her enhanced raid white, you will see it when she glows golden. That's the enhanced raid white. After the enhanced raid white, she will spawn a gauge. And once that gauge reaches 100%, she will gain 4 buffs that we need to dispel ASAP. And at the same time, she will also spawn electric orbs all around the arena. They are random. You cannot tell beforehand where it's gonna spawn. So that's why I would need all of you to look for yourselves where there is an electric orb. If you see one, either you go away from it or you go towards it. The lightning orb needs to be reflected as well for the damage from it. Which means if you don't have a light curtain, if you don't have a reflect, please get away from them. If you do have one, you have to pop the light curtain or the reflect immediately when the lightning orbs spawn. Because if you activate it too late, it might be that it doesn't apply to you and you get clipped and you die. All the damage from the lightning orbs, they are lethal. So that's one thing. After the lightning orb dies, it forms a dome and everyone will have to step inside that dome. If you don't, you will die. It's necessary. Because it will just one-shot you if you don't have its protection. Then that's it for the raid whites. Then next we'll have the time busters. The time busters only happen 3 times in this fight. It's like a normal, where you get hit and you get a doom. Doom is cleansable, but we prefer to give it to to paladins and gunbreakers because they don't take any damage. If they don't take any damage, they also don't get the doom. We can assign the tanks later. I'm just gonna continue with the explanations. The time buster only happens 3 times, but we might assign maybe 1 or 2 more tanks in case the previous tanks in line die. That's it for the time busters. Then we have the chesses. Normal chess happens at the start of the fight, right after the first raid wide. And I'm just gonna place a marker on top of myself. If you are not too sure, you can follow the marker. Because the thing with normal chess especially, and also the second relentless play, is it might be very hard to call out on the spot because it also happens quite fast. So that's why, in case you don't really understand what I'm trying to say, you can just follow me instead. Although I will try to call Super Chess boss relative. So if you're looking at the boss and I say left of C or right of C, obviously for left of C you go here, and right of C you go here. Same with closer to the boss or further away from the boss or on the back line, you know. Everything is boss relative. But like I said, if you're not too sure, I will place a marker on myself and you can follow me. There are some mechanics that you cannot absolutely follow me though, and that is for Super Chess. Because Super Chess is mainly a individual mechanic. You'll have 3 possible total steps, 5, 6, or 7, and then you have to resolve it for yourself. As you can see, the thingy, there's one strat, how you can resolve Super Chess. That one is posted in DRS chat now. And that one uses the left wall, looking at the safe spot that you have to end up on. That one uses the left wall and the back row. I'll be trying to calling... no, actually, Yuki is gonna try calling which one is safe to go for you. Don't think they are very confident on it yet, so if you can look for yourself, please do so as well. But Yuki is gonna try that out. Oh, was it Arn instead? I thought I saw Yuki.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Arn will call it out, sorry.
I try at least.
There you go. Try is always good. So again, if you can look for yourself, please do so. This Arn is not too confident on it, but they will try. So aside from super chess, I don't think there's anything more that I really need to explain. In some instances, for example, in Relentless 1, and also during normal chess, we will also have to deal with Northwain's Glow. You might remember that from a normal. So it only happens twice in here, normal chess and also Relentless Play 1. So when these mechanics happen, please make sure that you're not standing too close to the end points, because there will be the point blank. I think I said everything else. And start a ready check. And if you have a question, you can press no. Then we're gonna also assign the tanks. So, do we have any, to start with, Paladin and Gunbreaker volunteers? So we'll stay 1 then. And then we have Indri and Yuki. Okay. Only really need 3. But if Strain you also want to, can assign you 4 in case any previous tanks die. Strain is a warrior though, so if they do take the Time Buster, remember to cleanse the Doom. The Time Buster hits twice, so if you do need to cleanse it at the second one, or after the second one. That is it. Check who is ready. A, E, C, D, F, and B. Alright, that is everyone. So check your tank stances, and we're going in 20 seconds. Boop of a reminder if you need to refresh it. The whole fight takes, I think, maybe 9 minutes. Pull, pull, pull. Oh, fuck. First up is a raid wide. Either shields up. To mark myself. Okay, first up is the normal chess. Waiting for the Northwain's Glow to tell us where to go. We're going to Alpha. Alpha is not going to be safe. So on either 1 or 2 on the back of the tile. 1 or 2, back of the tile. Right, and then we can stand in the middle. First Time Buster incoming as well. That is 1 and 2. Tank 2 can take over. And either shields up. After that we'll have Super Chess.
Safe spots on C. We got back row safe, left is safe, so we got 7 behind 2, 6 in the corner, and 5 on
Above 2.
behind 3, above 2, 5 above 2. We're going to the left side. If you get the red one above your head, go back 1. And on the safe spots.
Even if you get a Doom, make sure you're on the safe spot. At least you get re-erased on here. Back on the boss. And we'll have a raid white soon. Either shields up. Gauge reached 100. Start dispelling. And look for the orbs. Go inside a dome. Not optional. And Relentless 1 incoming. So we'll have this sniper mechanic with the wind and lightning. The gunner is at 1. Reminder that the gunner is always at 1. Gonna wait for the north wind's glow. Going to Delta. If you are tethered, you go to wind. If not, you go to lightning. All the way on Delta and open sight to the gunner at 1. 2 is a turret on the sides. And then back on the boss. Buster incoming. Two. And tank 3 take over. Stack in the center. Easier movement. Both healers are dead for C. Mark them with a chain. And we'll stack them up later. Okay, we're gonna get knocked back from the center. Knocked back towards 2. Stand here. And safe spot will be on small side on D. All the way here. Right, and back on the boss. Raid wide up. Raid wide. Either shields up. Mixing everything here. Going into super chest 2. Right.
Spot on A. Left is not safe. Back row is safe. 5 in the corner behind 4. Behind 4. 6 on C and 7 behind 3. Sorry about that corner thing.
5 below 4, 6 on C, 7 below 3.
And we're going to the 1 and 4 column.
Again, make sure you're on the safe spot. We should have LB3 after this, but do double check, make sure that you indeed have heal LB3 before you use it. Now we'll go back on the boss and tank buster 3. Use your invuln. It's 1, 2. And keep it, Yuki. I'm gonna stack between 1 and 2. Knights will jump to us, and we're gonna stay close to the knight. Close to the knight towards Alpha. Close to the knight. Dodge the turrets like a normal. And start dispelling. Electric orb right behind her. Wow. That is a lot of people dead. Keep the shields up. If you have heal LB3, you can use it if you have not done so before. And now we'll have to deal with a knockback from the center and the bombs. We'll have a chain here as well. If you're tethered, you will get knocked back to a small bomb. If you're not tethered, you go to a big bomb. Knockback from the center towards alpha. Once you arrive at your bomb, you keep moving. Tethered to small and tethered to big. And once you drop down, move to where a bomb just exploded. Right. Gonna stack in front of the boss. It is soft and rage, so give it everything you got. So easy healing once we stack in the front.
Cast is press Q4. Just mash it.
Yeah, that Q4 is always good as well. Easy clear, even after so many weird things. Okay. Wait for those people who have a cutscene, if they're still dead. And then you can start raising them. Yes, good job on the super chest calls. First time, so really good.
I think a lot of people die there due to it calling this spell when we're using Reflect, because it took even me a second to figure it out.
Yeah, usually how to deal with that is basically if you are going to use the spell for you and you know it for yourself, don't stand near an orb. The thing is, you can also use the spell after you popped your Lycurt, and you have some time before the thing actually goes off and he starts auto-attacking again, so there is time for the spelling.
No, I think it's just your call out was dispel rather than light curtain.
The thing is, if she doesn't get dispel before the raid rod goes off, that one crits and it can just kill the raid. It's happened before and it does like 100.
Depends on which one. Depends on which buff is still on her though, because we had it once that we still had like 3 or so on her, and the dome was safe for everyone.
I don't know. The one time I just went at it and she did 150,000 with the raid rod, and it's just like, how are we supposed to live? We luckily like had a bunch re-raise and made it to the end, but yeah.
Yeah, it happens, and maybe you need to say for the next time
Dispels and
that you can reflect dispel afterwards.
With a very inconveniently placed orb as well. It was right on.
Yeah.
For anyone here listening, if you want an easy cheat sheet for the orbs though, there are 2 guaranteed safe spots, either directly center, or if there's an orb to the center, the middle of the square, like right next to center. Because the orbs, while they are random, they have 2 patterns.
Yep. Apparently that, but like I said, it's also still just way easier, way better for yourself to also look out for yourself. Haven't taken the screenshot yet. You guys want to come back? You can get the chest later if you want to, if you still need it.
And yes, you are basically guaranteed a plate of each because of each boss being dead. The one exception is the duel. If that fails, you miss out on a hand gear, as Faith would know.
Alright, that's it for tonight. Excuses for some of the whack callouts. I'm actually getting tired this week, but tomorrow is the last day. Let me check the fortune is not yet made, so I'll have to make that afterwards, and we'll post it soon as well. Thank you for joining, everyone. Have a nice evening. All right. That is it for today. Really whack. Like I said, I'm pretty much getting tired. There was just moments that I was not focusing at all. Especially also, I keep forgetting that irregular actually hurts a lot. Like actually way more than when on healer you have what's it called? Profane. It hurts way more. Because I think wait, Profane doesn't even have increased damage, does it? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But irregular does. I keep forgetting that. So, kind of bad idea to have banner there as well, really. But yeah, dumb things aside. Tomorrow will be our last daily DRS for this week. And like I said at the start already, we're probably gonna go back to just 1-2 runs a week for a while. I don't know how Banana's feeling like maybe hosting a week-long daily run for him by himself. But for me, I have my exams incoming, and then I'll be going on vacation for like a month and a half. So I won't obviously have my PC with me, and yeah, won't be able to do any gaming in general. So tomorrow will be one of the last few runs that I'm doing for before the summer. It is studying for me. But yeah, I'm gonna stop here because I still need to make the roster, some other stuff because I still have, I think, I need to do some homework. So there's that. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for dropping by. Always appreciate it. And we will go back tomorrow. Keep an eye out on that, and I hope everyone has a good night. See ya. Bye bye.